Hey guys, I'm Logan, and today I'll be talking about why you should call 811 before you dig. So, first, let me start off with this poem. A person once dug a very deep hole, and their neighbor heard about what happened. To best the other, the neighbor dug an even deeper hole. In the end, there were two holes. I would say that was a deep poem, but a bad one at its best. And the moral of the poem is that neither person called 811 before they dug, which is a serious problem that some of you might not be aware about. So, turns out that digging holes in your backyard or anywhere in general is potentially a big problem. And as it turns out, utility lines are underground everywhere, and it is very important to be aware of their existence when digging underground. In the most extreme cases, calling 811 could even save lives. So, and I will be now transitioning to the body where I'll be talking about what utilities are, why people should care, um, why it's important to avoid digging around utilities, and why you should call 811 before you dig. So first off, let's talk about what utilities are. Well, utilities are basic needs and services that are used by the average consumer. This includes water, electricity, sewage, internet, natural gas, oil, etc. And they are found underground in the form of pipes and conduits or in the air traveling from pole to pole. It's stuff you see all the time, probably. Maybe not the underground stuff, but you've definitely seen power lines traveling around town. And people should definitely care about utilities because they provide the building blocks for modern civilization. I mean, just try imagining a world without fresh running water or enough gas or electricity to cook up a homemade meal. Plus, as it turns out, you may not know this, but a lot of your tax dollars go towards a federal highway fund that supplements the restoration and relocation utilities. So basically, every time there's a major federal or state roadway project that goes on, utilities need to be moved. When they're moved, they're paid for by your tax dollars, and in certain cases, they are upgraded in the process because it's convenient. Plus, many of these utilities run underneath federal roadways, state roadways, muni roadways, which kind of takes the cost off of the consumer and puts it on the government because these utility companies all of a sudden don't have to buy private property. But that's a whole different story. Um, Basically, your tax dollars do count a lot towards utilities, so you should definitely care. So, why is it important to avoid digging around utilities? Well, damaging or exposing utility line could cause many serious problems. Direct damage to any line will alert the utility company to shut off everything in that area, and this could get even more dangerous with natural gas lines or oil lines as they could potentially ignite or explode, causing a potential loss in life or damage to property. And as we all know, or hopefully should know, an immediate shut off of utility could cause a disruption in that area locally, which would affect businesses and residents, causing some very angry phone calls to happen. And if you don't call 811 and this happens to you, you are the liable party. According to Alaska 811, fines and penalties could be assessed for $200,000 up to $2 million. So I hope you're ready to pay that much if you decide to dig without calling 811. And as it turns out, that hole you might be planning, whether it's just for a fence line or a mailbox, it might seem shallow, but so are the depths at which the utilities sit at, because as regulations change and landscapes and environments change, certain utilities could be, less than say 2 feet underneath the ground. In that case, any hole could potentially puncture what's going down underneath there underground. So therefore, there's an absolute need to call 811 before digging any projects. Which leads on to my next point. Please call 811 before you dig. Calling 811 alerts local utility companies about your planned excavation. It's a completely free service, and basically what happens is they have someone in-house go out to your site location. It's free, remember this, and they look at existing system maps and determine where the utilities are, their depths, and safe widths where you could dig outside. Basically, where they'll map out where you can dig and where you can't dig, essentially. and it's a great service. It's free, and there are some benefits that are involved in calling 811 because as soon as you have a utility company perform a locate and they give you the green thumb, like a thumbs up to start digging, any liability that might come about, say you happen to puncture a line, is all of a sudden shifted from your shoulders to their shoulders because they told you that it was okay to dig, which means, like 99% of the time there's no utilities there, but say the locate was wrong or there's a rogue utility running through there so that was abandoned long ago and you puncture it, it's not your problem, it's their problem. So you're safe and you'll be saving your wallet, you'll be saving your time, and you could potentially be saving lives just by calling 811. So just, coming to my conclusion, don't act like a fool from, that poem I brought up in the introduction where basically two people were digging holes for fun. It's not worth it to dig a hole without calling 811. So make sure you call 811 before you dig to prevent any headaches in the future. And just remember, safe digging will save your wallet, time, and potentially life. Thank you for listening to my speech. Have a good day.